car ride down here, I had Nam writing out my speech for me because I didn't have any time to. So I might end up winging this because I can't read Nam's handwriting. But I'm sure that you guys are all aware that when you meet Erin, most of you guys are like forewarned, don't hug Erin, or don't touch Erin, or be aware of Erin's personal bubble. Well, I've had the pleasure of knowing Erin for the last 5 years, and she seriously has not changed one bit. When I first met Erin, I was a freshman and she was a sophomore, and she was really intimidating. She was the treasurer at the time, and she knew all this information, and I was just like, I don't know who you are, so I'm not really going to talk to you. Well, my second impression of meeting Erin was during an intramural football game, and our club had created this whole team, and they needed people to come out, so I was like, okay, I'll come out. And then I met Erin again, and seriously had never said more than 3 words to her, other than, here are my dues. That's 5 words, or whatever. And she was like running up and down the field, catching balls, trying to tackle people, and I was like, seriously, I don't know who this girl is. I don't want to meet her. But after a while, we had a bunch of socials together, and Erin turned more into the normal Erin that you guys all know and love. She was really easy to talk to, and she was also very business, Circle K related, but she could relate to you on a personal level, which I really enjoyed. So she was treasurer, and then she became secretary of this lovely organization, and she convinced me to run for membership development and education chair. And Erin was always there to give me advice. She was always there to tell me, like, you need to do this and this and this, or you're doing this wrong, or you should table a little bit more. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm just new. I don't know what I'm doing. So Erin's just always been there for me in that aspect. We've been on board together for the last 4 years, mostly. When I was my membership development education chair, she somehow convinced me to run for secretary so that I could be her successor, and I was like, I don't want to do that. But somehow she managed to get me to become secretary, and then after about a week, our incoming president decided that he was going to go to medical school, and Erin was like, Alex, you should just quit secretary and become president. And I was like, no. But she somehow managed to convince me to become president, and she became my historian. And then about 4 months later, I was like, Erin, I really need a service VP. And I somehow convinced her to become the service VP. So that was our first time working on executive board together. And it was probably the best learning experience that I ever had, because that was my first huge leadership role. And she was always there to give me advice. She was always the first person to yell at me when I did something wrong. She was always the first person I called when I was really upset and I needed some advice. And she was the first person who I called when I just had something happy to tell her. I remember that there was one DCM that we went to in September, and my whole club got mad at me for some reason. And Erin was like, we're driving back and meeting up with everyone. She was just like, Alex, you just need to do what you have to do, but you need to make the whole club happy. And she was always like, club goes first. Circle K is really important. Just do what you got to do. And she was always, she was the first service VP of our term, or ever in our club. So it was really nice to have her around, to get her to come up with a lot of service events. She took me out a lot to our Kiwanis bike shop, and that was the first experience that we got. And she was definitely helpful in integrating our Kiwanis and Circle K together. After our terms, we were like, no, we're not going to do anything at Circle K anymore. And then she was like, Alex, you should run for Relay for Life chair. And I was like, okay. So I ran for Relay for Life chair, and she decided not to do anything. I was like, well, that kind of screws me over because Erin's not going to be on board with me. Well, it turns out that we both applied for district committee positions, and so she was on the membership development education committee. So we had we got to deal with district stuff together, which was really fun. And then we spent a 9-hour car ride going down to Decon together, and last year, you guys know, we didn't have anyone running for LTG. Well, during this 9-hour car ride, our Kwani and Tom and Erin and I are sitting in the car, and we're like, do we run for LTG? Which one's of it does it? And it turns out that Erin was the one who wanted to run for it. And she didn't know if she was really going to do it, because she was stuck between, well, do I go to UC Davis or do I go all the way to Maryland? Because she was possibly going to do that. And we're sitting at decon during the awards banquet, and I kind of looked at her and I literally started bawling because I was like, Erin's never coming back, I'm never gonna see her. And I'm pretty sure I cried for a solid 20 minutes and I finally calmed down. But little do we know that Erin got appointed to the position as LtG, and now I'm stuck with her for another year. Sorry. And during this time, she decided that she was going to nominate me to be secretary of our club because we didn't have anyone coming up, and she literally stood up and she was like, I nominate Alex Q. And I was like, wait, what? And I ended up loving this position, and I finally figured out why Erin loved being secretary so much and why she really enjoyed being a part of the club, because she got to see all aspects of it in that position. But during her term, I got to serve as her divisional LtG. Wait, what? No, I got to serve as her divisional assistant, which was really fun because I got to get all those experiences. But I think the most important thing that I've learned from Erin is that you kind of just got to keep going and make people happy, but make yourself happy at the same time. And Erin's always been one of those people where I never want to disappoint her, because I always feel like she's really intimidating still, and I never like telling her when I did something wrong. And I'm not afraid to admit that you're my mentor, kind of sometimes. But aside from that, outside of Circle K, she's just always been a great friend to me. We have lots of chats about family, work, school, boys, you know, the difference between fetishes and obsessions. And she always sends me Glee videos. You know, she does all those things, so that's my friend.
So, my story getting to know Erin is a lot more different because, well, I have hardly had any Circle K experience. In fact, when I became president, I was still a freshman. I hadn't even been in the club a year. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know who Erin was. And I think my first impression of Erin was, okay, so I'm going to decon. I get to decon. It was either I just registered or I was leaving, something about that, and I was in the hotel lobby. And Erin comes up, and she's just kind of like, hi, are you Andrew? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, hi, my name's Erin, and I'm thinking of running for LtG. And in my mind, I'm thinking, great. Apparently, the story goes, I guess she had asked someone who is the new UC Davis president, and I think it was Vin. Somebody said like, oh, that little boy over there. That kid. And so we kind of had an awkward relationship. We didn't really know each other, especially for like the first few weeks of our term. But so it's up in the air on who's going to be LtG, and eventually we find out, oh, it was Erin. And some people like Anna were like, oh my god, thank goodness. But I had no idea who you were. And so just a few email correspondence, and I'm like, all right, she's my boss. I'll just, send her what she needs and stuff. It was really chill. And then I find out, you're going to Davis. And I got kind of happy. I was like, yes, I still don't know you, but you're going to Davis. So, but what I found is that, especially like even before she came to UC Davis, Erin was extremely helpful. And there was a lot of times when I didn't know what I was doing as president, or I just need somebody with more experience than me to ask questions and advise me on like decisions I make and things like that. And that's where the phone calls came in. At first, Erin used to only call me, and I would just talk to her, and I could swear in my mind she must have been thinking, this little boy talks way too long. But eventually, I think it was okay. Like, after that, I know you didn't call me that much. I didn't take offense. It's perfectly fine. But then summer passed, and unfortunately, I know it was hard because Davis wasn't able to travel as much, and so I'm sad we couldn't make it to like your camping DCM or your cliff jumping DCM. But at the very least, from what I hear, they were really great, and it just makes me sad that I missed it. But then, next time I saw Erin in person was at President's Retreat. And it was at President's Retreat that I was still getting to know her. And I was actually talking to her about, all right, when you come to Davis, if you ever need any help transitioning, getting to know the campus, getting to know the area, I can help you out. But when she gets to President's Retreat, what really kind of struck me as being like one of the most thoughtful things ever is she was the only LtG to actually bring like care packages for her presidents. And in there was like a granola bar, some mixed nuts, and an apple, and I was like, oh man, you like us, huh? So it was really touching. And so after that, I really did. The more I got to know you, the more things I saw you do, it just, my amount of respect for you has just been growing and growing. And then you finally came to Davis, and your first event with us was Disneyland Half Marathon, where I don't know if we disobeyed an ERG or anything like that, but we went down to SoCal, we volunteered in Disneyland, and Erin came along with us. I'm sure it was a little awkward because like you didn't know every member that went, and you were like sleeping over at random members' houses, but I was really glad you came, because I think after that, and increasingly after that, you just had more and more exposure in our club until finally freshmen came along and you had a fan following. So, I'm just saying. But it was always those little adventures like that, and I really appreciated it. It was really nice having Erin at UC Davis because, like I said, we didn't always correspond via phone call a lot, and so a lot of times it was just long emails or things like that. But then when I found out where she lived, that was a whole other story. So then I would start visiting her, and I just text her like, hey Erin, you down for a talk? And she's like, sure. You busy? Nah. You doing homework? I don't want to. And so she was like, okay, just come on over. And so I go on over to her grad student dorm, which if you guys haven't seen, it's a nice place. She has a huge lounge. And so I just remember like there'd be late nights when we're just sitting in the lounge chairs, drinking coffee, which I pride myself for having made Erin addicted to coffee. That was one of my greatest goals as an officer student. But we would just drink coffee and talk about anything that comes to mind. I really liked it because I got to know Erin, not only like from who she is and like what she's done in Circle K, but she was telling me stories about like how when she first joined Circle K, it was with her roommates, and she came and her roommates didn't like it as much, but then she loved it, and so she stuck around, and she helped make UNR much more of a bomb club, and you saw it grow to the membership that it has now. And that was really impressive. I keep thinking to myself, you know, with all her experience and all that she's done for UNR and Capital Division, like, Brett made the best choice in picking Erin for our Capital LtG, because moving from UNR to Davis and then getting to understand all the schools, I don't know of many people that could have done the job that you did this year, and so, you cool. But Erin and I, and a lot of other UC Davis members, we would go on different adventures, because we would always jump in my van and go to like her divisional service days. And that was sometimes the service project of some of our new members, and it helped bring them in, and some of them are now officers, so that's pretty cool. In fact, I don't know if you guys know my brother. My brother's a high school senior, and he's actually going to be coming to UC Davis next year. But Erin, and getting to know Erin on those long car rides, she helped retain my brother in Circle K, and he's not even a member yet. So that just goes to show you like how much influence this girl has. But we went to Go West for the first time, and that was pretty cool. And you know, she's been there for me, and she always checks up on me through texts. And I know like there were points in my Circle K term this year when things were really troublesome, or I ran into problems, and she would always text me like, hey, just tell me what's up, you know, I'm always down to listen. And so sometimes we'd meet up and get a cup of coffee, and kind of like Alex said, she's always there to like support people, and she's very like kind-hearted and considerate, and she always has the goodness of Circle K at heart, and so that's something really admirable. Something that happened just recently was that over spring break after decon, it's like the rush of decon has finally ended. Erin got sick, and she got me sick. And one of my best moments with Erin was the two of us are sick in Davis over spring break, and so we just walked to Trader Joe's across the street, and then we go back to her house and boil soup. And so it's like something pretty lame, but at the same time, it's fun having someone in Davis who is so chill, and you know, the age difference may be great, but you are always going to be one of the coolest members of UC Davis Circle K, and it's not only me that thinks so, it's pretty much our whole membership. And I know you might not have been able to make it at every meeting, but the amount of hours that she achieves by coming to our weekend service events, you know, balancing a job, lacrosse, and everything else, it's it's like Erin, she's super dedicated, super devoted, and if anything, it's like that's something we can all learn from Erin. And I know that whatever happens from here on out, whether it's in UC Davis or in Circle K at all, I know that Erin is someone that I'm not afraid to just call up and say like, hey, can you help me out, or I just want to talk to you. And you made my Circle K year. It was very cool, and I wouldn't have asked for any other person to serve under as a Capital President. So thank you, Erin. Presenting for the last time your 2011-2012 Capital LtG, Erin Zilligan.
Sorry, Andrew, you did not make me cry.
That's okay, I
It was a nice try, though. No cancer carrying today. For those that don't know, the cancer joke is, since I never cry, it's if my tears cure cancer. Yeah. Alright, so I have a couple things. Something like that. I want to thank my committee. First of all, can I get everybody that's here on the committee up here? Oh, I think this is the most we've ever had at once. So I got these little candies. They have a it's not ghetto. They have a little Capital button inside of them, and then it's just like decorated with Capital colors and a little eagle.
It's a sand jar.
There are no red ones.
Thanks, Erin.
Thank you.
That's a little gift.
That's my pseudo.
Okay. Yeah, but this year the committee, it's the first time we've ever had a Capital committee, and we kind of tested it out this year. I didn't use them as much as I could have, but they really helped me out at the beginning of the year, helped me get set, because we didn't really have a transition for anything. So they helped me figure out where we were going with the division. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And normal people would hug now, but I'm not going to. But as most of you probably know, Alex is my assistant this year, and she helped me out with so many things. I'm not gonna cry.
Want eye drops?
I literally send everything to Alex before I send it out to you guys. So any emails that you got, any DCM agendas, if there were typos, it's her fault. Seriously. Everything I do, I sent it to Alex first. So like, she checked all of my stuff, and then random times during the middle of the day, I'd always be on Gmail chat. What kind of Circle K stuff do I have to do? And from Davis, and she's in Reno, she knows what Circle K stuff I have to do. I don't know how she did that, but she always knew everything that I had to do. So thank you for always keeping up with everything that I have to do. Oh, presidents. And Christian's not here, so that's too bad. We're going to start with Christian. Yeah. All right. Christian's the TMCC president. And I didn't actually get to know him that well this year, but I've known him for like 3 years. He's been around a while. And what's really weird is he's a lot like my brother. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know they ever met, and then one time my brother tells me, oh yeah, that Christian kid. We talk about music all the time. I'm like, Christian. And then he's like, oh yeah, the kid from TMCC. And I'm like, no way, you know Christian? Apparently he Facebook chats with them and goes to concerts with them. All the time. All the time. But yeah, so that's fun to know about Christian. I have a little present for him, but he's not here, so he didn't get it. Oh, it's there we go. So I didn't even know Elise when I started this year, and I just knew that she always hung out with Leif, and she was probably like a little Leif, and that's what I had in my head, and I was like, for any of you guys that know Leif, you're probably like, oh god. But I actually got to know Elise over President's Retreat, and I thought she was really quiet. No, that's a lie. She's one of the loudest people I know, but that's a good thing. She always has something fun to say, and she's really hilarious, so you guys should all get to know her. But she's leaving us. So you can't. But I have a present for you.
A hug?
No, it's not a hug. Oh my goodness.
I'm not leaving.
Don't go to.
That's so cute. I want to hug you. I'm gonna hug this. Thank you.
Thank you for reading here this year.
What's up?
I used my awkward story for you. What other stories do I have?
Can't use it.
Okay, so Garrett was, the first time I met you, you were the Capital Division Assistant for Mackie. And how many of you guys know Mackie? Yes, quite a few. Okay, she was really loud, like complete opposite of me. Really loud, she'd be like bouncing around all over here. Kind of like Nancy. Just everywhere. So then, I'm expecting her assistant to be just like her. Nope, assistant's Garrett. Just like really quiet, I don't know, sits in the background, just kind of hangs out, gets up when he says, and then goes back down. But yeah, that's about it. Next year you were secretary. And you're actually the only secretary that didn't ask me for help on anything that year. Because I told all the secretaries that year that they could ask me if they needed any help at all. First MRF comes in, all the secretaries are like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do this? Not Garrett. And then I checked Garrett's MRF, perfect. So, thank you. So I never have to worry about Garrett. He's always got everything done, always on top of things. Even though you never respond to my emails, but I just assume it's because you're good with
Because
everything.
it's already done, obviously.
I have a little present for you. So come up.
Even though it's never done, but you know.
Okay.
I didn't see anything.
So I'm sticking with the stuffed animal theme, but I got you a little panda.
Panda bacon!
I didn't promise you.
Oh my god, that's so creepy.
Weird. But it fits you. It'll keep going for a while.
That thing's gonna wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Another thing I know about Garrett is he's always on YouTube, and he links to one of the panda commercials for the like buying the shit. It's still moving.
Forever creeping.
It's just as creepy as you. But it's a commercial with the people that are shopping and they go buy the cheese and there's like the panda cheese. And they're like, oh no, we don't need that. And the panda comes out of nowhere with like, I don't even know what noise it is. Can you do it? Can you do
Noise?
Like, it does some weird creepy
Oh, there's like a song that goes on.
There we go. There's a song that goes on. But anyways, a panda comes up. And and then
Oh my
punches and tackles them. And yeah, so that's what I remember about Garrett. That's why I got a panda. A nice creepy panda.
Worse than a Furby. Furby. No.
Alright, so you guys are gonna get to know Fiona a lot here. Again, I didn't know you at the beginning of the year. The first time I met you was when I came to one of your meetings. And I expected it to be like chaotic from UOP in the past. They haven't been the best at organizing things. But I get there and everything's all set up perfectly and the meeting just runs nice and smooth. And I even had to like install you guys there. And it really made me like happy to know that UOP was in good hands because you just were on top of everything. Another thing, you notice how she always dresses? Always got the bow in her hair, and the heels on, and the little skirts. No, do you not have heels? I do. Okay, yep. Always know it's there. She even wore this to a service project once. We were like digging trenches.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't wear heels, so that's okay. But yeah, so that's something you should probably know about Fiona. I have a little present for you, but you're not going to get it until the end of my speech. Sorry. This next thing comes up for you. Easy. Man. Alright, Casey was service vice president the year after I was. And she actually came in, we had a gap for like 6 months we didn't have the service vice president. And she was a freshman, and she came in and just ran for it. And you actually did a really great job. You upped service hours from my year a lot. I think we went up by like 500 hours at least. And yeah. But I didn't really get to know Casey until President's Retreat. We had a 3-hour car ride to get to Stockton to pick up Fiona. In a 3-hour car ride, Casey's telling me all these like stories. She can do so many voices. But she can do like southern accents and everything. I can't do it or else I'd tell the story. But she has a great story, you should ask her about it later. And we get to Stockton. And apparently we missed the exit or something, and we're driving through like the back roads of Stockton, which is not a good place to be. And we start seeing like, there's this garage sale on the side of the road, and there's like some guy bent over, and you can just imagine his pants were not all the way. Yeah. We're like, this is great. And then we keep driving, there's a bunch of billboards. There's one with the wiener dog on it. And Casey goes, oh, look at the wiener dog! Just like that. And that was annoying enough. And then we keep driving. Another billboard with the wiener dog. Casey does the same voice. So we get lost, so we circle back, see the billboard again. Same voice. Finally, we get to pick up Fiona. And I get the wiener dog out of there. Whole trip down, gotta be like every hour. Oh, look at the wiener dog. Casey, can you come up here? How'd you guess?
And they have the same middle name.
Oh, and we have the same name. It's awesome.
Oh, I love
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that leaves you.
Right. Bottle is tears.
Make him cry?
Punch him.
I need bread.
Come on, do it.
Just punch him.
Slap his face.
Okay, Andrew said the first time we met was at DCon when I came up to him. But But I don't think the first thing I said to you was, I'm thinking about LTG.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it was, I'm coming to Davis next year.
Really? Oh, I don't remember.
Or I'm thinking about coming to Davis next year, because I'm still thinking about going to
My
Maryland.
impression was the same.
Look it up, Gretchen. But yeah, so that's the first time I met him, and man, this kid. He's standing in the lobby, and I'm thinking, crap, he's a freshman. How am I going to talk to a freshman? But no, he was actually really easy to talk to, and then, I don't know, about a week later, after I got LTG, I call the presidents. Garrett goes on for like 3-minute conversation. Casey's only like a 7-minute conversation. Elise, I don't know, you were like 8 or 9-ish. You weren't that much. Fiona was like a 3-minute conversation. Christian was like a 1-minute conversation. And then Andrew, 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Nice.
Because I wrote them all down. Because I was so amazed that you went on for 1 hour and 15 minutes. But on the phone, I don't talk very much, so that was all Andrew. But no, I got to know Andrew a lot over the year, especially moving to Davis. The first day I was here, I literally moved my stuff in on September 1st. September 2nd was Disneyland Half Marathon. So, but when we got back, I called Andrew, and he was like, hey, I'm around, so why don't I just come over? It was like 10 o'clock at night. I was like, okay, he can come over. He'll be gone by like 11. 2 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, still there talking. But he told me all about like the club at Davis and everything I need to know to do it. And he offered help whenever I would ask for anything. Then you just offer randomly, like text me, need help with this. Are you about to cry?
No, I'm not. You can't do it.
I'm not going to make you cry. But I'm really glad I met Andrew this year because he really is a passionate member. And he reminded me why I joined Circle K. It's always good to meet the freshmen. They always remind you of why you joined Circle K, but especially Andrew. He's really dedicated, and you made me want to be even more dedicated. So thank you.
Aw, thanks.
Little present for you, so come on up. Okay. So, you guys don't know Andrew's from Hawaii? How do you say it?
How about you?
Hawaii.
Where's that?
That's rude.
Never heard of it.
And he also really loves Starbucks. So it's a little Hawaii Starbucks fair.
Aww. He's
I'm
gonna
awesome.
cry. I'm awesome.
Yeah. It says Hawaii.
Yes, I'm right.
Little Andrew.
Andrew Jr.
No.
No, all right. How about you?
Okay.
All right, thanks, Ed.
You're welcome. Have you guys seen this fair yet? Andrew also tried to name this Andrew Jr. It's not happening.
It's okay. Erin, tell him the name is Bear Spam Masubi.
Ooh.
That's culturally insensitive.
So true though. Okay. I also have some more serious awards to give out. So, first one is Divisional Social of the Year.
Please.
Erin off.
No, there's no off. It goes on forever.
Once
Throw
you
it in
press
water.
it, it stays alive.
It's like 5 minutes or so.
It's done.
Okay. Divisional Social of the Year. So, July, yeah. July we had our DCM at Kings Beach in Tahoe, and TMCC planned out this whole day where we were going to go camping that night, but it ended up falling through because they couldn't find a campsite. So last minute they had to change it to just hanging out at the beach, and they got everything set. They got us like a spot on the beach, and then they got all the food for everything. So the Divisional Social of the Year is going to TMCC. They're not here, so don't get it. Give this to somebody who you know. Casey, can you give it to them or no? Doing these awards are a lot cooler than this one, sorry. Okay, Service Project of the Year. Oh man, this is the first divisional service project we had this year, and it was in Sacramento. We helped out at the Sacramento Homeless Connect, and I didn't even know Leon when she set this up, and she just randomly calls me, can we do a divisional service project? Sure. You have to be there. Okay. It's on this day. That's it. But thank you for planning that, and I had a great time there. We had, I don't know, like 20 people there, so it's a good first event of the year, and I think it was by far my favorite service project from this year, so thank you. Come up.
Punch her, Erin, punch her.
Leon was also our DLCP North chair, and I had a thing with district board this year where whenever the chairs had events, I would hug them at the end of their event.
My bad.
So Leon got a hug at the end of DLCP North.
I got 2.
And she got one because I had a dinner, but
Actually, I got 3. I stole one.
sounds like a lot of people. Okay. Most improved tempo. This is kind of more of an award for the last 5 years that I've been in Circle K. So you see clubs that go through a lot of trends, like Davis went from like 100 members down to like 30, back up to 100. So they're back up. But one of the clubs that never really had a trend, they were just always really small, and you never really saw them at anything, was University Pacific. But this year, you saw at least Fiona and Kevin at everything, and they doubled in membership, and that's all 5 years. Like, if you take this year, they probably have more than they had for all 5 years combined. That's okay, we're almost done. Yeah, so most improved club goes to University.
What time is it?
Banquet time.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. The next one is Eagle of the Year.
Whoa.
My last
Whoa,
one.
whoa.
Where you can go back here. Oh, yeah. Did somebody drop something when they came in? Like any sort of money or anything? We found some money, but you have to tell me like how much it was.
$100. I don't know how much it was.
It wasn't yours.
No, Bob was the one
You
that
can
told
have
me.
it back. Okay. Eagle. This person I just met this year. I was convinced he was a new member. Turns out he wasn't. I met him at a social with UOP and Sac State. And my first impression of this kid was, man, he's the loudest kid ever. He'd always wear like a hat and it was always off to the side, and I was like, why didn't he just straighten off his hat? He was even going swimming with the hat on. Can you guess who it is?
Cool hat. Whoever's wearing.
And then over the next couple months, he kept coming to DCMs and showing up to divisional projects, and I was like, man, he's actually like really dedicated. This is cool. And then one night, I think it was like 2 months ago or something, we drove UOP somewhere. And then when we took him back, we ended up hanging out with Kevin and Fiona till like 4 in the morning.
Wow.
Solid like 7 hours that we were just hanging out in Fiona's house talking. And I really got to know him, and I know that you're going to be awesome in Circle K because you could just do everything and you're really dedicated. If you haven't guessed yet, Eagle of the Year goes to Alex Ung.
Shake your hands like you got water out. Well done, old chap. Yes.
So, you went to Decon. You know we got all these awards. 48 awards. Capital to come this year.
48.
48.
That's divisible by 12.
Oh my God. Last year at Decon, I don't even think we took home half that amount of awards. This year, 48 awards. Like, that's such a huge number for Capital. And you guys really deserve it because all that hard work that you guys put in this year shows. 48. Come on.
How many awards do we have here? Awards, dude!
Thank you. Alright, but at the beginning of last year, I think I stood up in this very spot and gave my intro speech. And in that, I said I wanted to get the Outstanding Divisional Excellence Award. As you can see, it's up there. But I didn't know that they were going to have placements this year. So when I found out we were going to have placements, I wanted that first place. We got second. But it's okay, because we're going to get first this year. But I didn't even think that we were going to make the top 3. Like, we're such a small division that it's kind of hard to think that we can even be up there with Magic Kingdom, who has more members in one club than we have in our division. So, so that was one of my goals, and we didn't get first, but we definitely got somewhere. So that's good. Again, at the beginning of this year, I talked to a lot of the old members and asked what they would like to see from LTG. And Vin, actually, among a couple other people, but I don't think they're here, Vin told me that he just wanted to see an LTG that was still a member of their club. So I tried to be as much of a member to Reno as I could while I was there. Do you think I was a member to you guys? Good, I hope so. I don't know a lot of the new members, I'm sorry. You came after I left. But I tried to be a member to your club. And when I got over to Dave,
You were.
I was a member. I paid my dues.
All the meetings.
I attended every meeting that I did not have class during. I still had class during that, but I went to it. I tried to be as much of a member as I could to you guys. And I definitely think I've gotten better at it these past couple months. But thank you for bearing with me for the last, 4 months. Because I couldn't make it to your meetings, so you guys barely ever saw me. Pretty sure half your board didn't even know who I was. But I tried to make it to as much as I could, and I hope to make it to more this year.
We'll show.
No, not gonna happen. Okay, so let's see. Random other thank yous. Okay. I want to thank you to Flora. Yeah, that's you. Flora has been around in the club for about as long as I have.
Yeah, Laura.
And we went to a divisional event back when Billy Penny was LtG.
Oh my God.
5 years ago? 4 or 5?
5. It was 5.
5 years ago. And you, I remember. Get out of here! Ejection from But Flora was one of the first members that I got to meet from Sac State, and I don't know, you were kind of one of the reasons that I eventually became LtG. It took me a while. But yeah, I'm glad I got to meet you and hang out with you for that whole year. I think we were at the Davis car wash, and everybody from Davis was doing one car, and then the 3 of us from Reno and the 3 people from Sac State were doing the other car. So, thank you for being there, and you've just always been around. So. Even this year, I got to ask her like what she wanted to see from an LtG, and I hope I got there. Let's go with Nikki. Nikki said the first time that I met you was when I pied you. You're welcome. You made such a big impression on me that one day, come in the door, first thing she does, hug me. And then I told her that I don't like hugs, next thing she does, hugs me. Yeah, you got pied. Thank you for keeping Garrett in mind.
Meow for you. Meow for
Just kidding. Every event that I go to with Nikki, she always makes me laugh because apparently we have some kind of awkward inside joke thing. It's some sort of sensual inside joke. I'm not even really sure if I get it. But she always makes me laugh. So thank you for always doing that. Then, kind of already said thank you to you, but you led all the cheers at Capital, and man, I always knew I can count on you. You weren't the first person to respond, but I always knew you were going to respond to my emails. And when you did respond, oh man, he wrote a book.
Wanted to make sure it was all there.
A lot of the rest of the committee was like a couple sentences. No, I have to like scroll down, keep scrolling. Keep scrolling.
First, like 10 bullets after explain the first word. I use this word because.
So true. He actually did do that. Not a lot. Thank you for always keeping on top of things and making sure that Capital had everything set. Alex, I already got you. Mitty's been around for a while. Alright. I just want to say, like, thank you to everybody here, because without you, we wouldn't have had such a great year. And it takes every one of you. Like, I don't know, I didn't really do anything. I don't feel like I just kind of organized and told you what to do. But it all came from you guys. So all these awards that we got, it's all from you guys. Thank you for an amazing year. One last thing. I know I always used to say that secretary was my favorite position. I love secretary. I have to say LtG needs that. Definitely best year ever of the 6. Best year ever. And thank you again.
L-O-V-E, we love our LtG. L-O-V-E, we love our LtG. L-O-V-E.
Thank you.
How much LtG we have in here? Oh wait, two. How well did you do?
Technically, it's only one because I retired.
Oh, okay.
But now Fiona has a couple things that she'd like to say. But I have a gift for you, so you have to come up here anyway. But it's in the kitchen, so you get to wait.
Oh, kitchen.
Oh, she's doing it. Who has the frame? Who has the frame? Who has the frame?
Wasn't signed it.
Did everyone sign it? No. Okay, Sierra needs to sign it, and then we're gonna give it to her. So
Hold the door. Hold the door.
Close the door.
Yeah, the other one.
That's the other one.
Hold the other door. Get punched.
Take one for the team, Ben.
So while you're getting that already, as you know, I didn't have very much time this weekend, but we all signed a frame for you and a cute little picture's gonna go. Okay, you can have this. And then you'll get it when you come to our banquet, which you're gonna ditch class for. If not, I know I'll see you again. But it has everyone's signature, and I'm gonna keep passing it around.
Thank you. That's what happened every time.
We got, Davis has one more thing to present to Erin. So Capital Division would not have had the chance to experience so many wonderful flavors had you not been able to do that. So in honor of that, we know how much you like Ikeda's apple salsa. And so we got you. What? We got you.
Wait, how do you say it?
Ikeda's.
Ikeda.
Well, okay, Ikeda.
Any now, anytime now. Okay,
By the end of the night.
Okay. Am I good to go?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so Fiona's never had a builder before. What? So, Fiona, you want to come up?
Too.
His name is Lil Fiona. Because I'm
Little Fiona.
Thank you.
So I'm an English-Spanish double major. I'm super simile, metaphor, symbols. The reason it's in this box that it came in is because you've done so much for Capital this year and so much for me.
I'm
And,
supposed to be crying.
and this cardboard box is just to symbolize that the most amazing things can just come in the most surprising packages. So open it with scissors. Please be safe.
Are they snakes?
Snakes everywhere.
There's the backstory behind this.
Oh, sorry, they all died.
Snake jerky.
It's not beef jerky.
It's a milk.
It's bubble wrap.
It is.
Oh my god.
Lots of bubble
I know. It's a lab beaker mug. Because once on Erin's Facebook page, I posted a USB magnifying glass, I think. And she's like, when you see anything science, does it remind me of you? Remind you of me? And I'm like, yeah. And since you're sciencey, you can drink this when you're in your forensics lab on the boat.
That can be dangerous.
Out loud.
And for all the awkward science jokes I told you, that really weren't funny.
Those were hilarious.
You can only gargle that. No, actually.
Thank you, Erin. Can we do one last cheer for you? L-O-V-E, we love our LtG. L-O-V-E, we love our LtG.
Done. Done.
I'm not as good as We'll both get this speech together because Erin's always going to be a part of me. Coming into LtG, I know I have some big shoes to fill. Erin was honestly phenomenal this year as our LtG. She mentored our officers and our members, which is clear today from everyone being here for you, provided each club with the support it needed to grow, and most of all, united the division. As this year's LtG, I look forward to seeing what each and every one of you will bring to your school, your division, and your district. I really believe in what Erin said before, that you are what makes up Capital, because we are Capital Division. There are mountains between us, there's 2 schools on the other side, 5 schools here. There's about 3 miles between us, but what really makes us shine, what makes us get the distinguished divisional award this year, is how much we care about each other. I look in the room today, and it's just each of you, some of you I've met today, have really just touched my life and inspired. One of the most important things to me as a member, as an officer, and as of now, as LtG, is the members' experience. The opportunities we're given to grow as people and make a difference in the